之後以濕泡抹乾。
Up next, does the tech industry have a diversity problem? Civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson thinks so. We'll hear from him next.
現金到手，想點玩都得啦。大眾財務，大眾首選。三位年青嘅唱作人，三段唔同嘅音樂經歷。阿 Phil 林奕康、Lilian 黃浩林同 Shandy 顏培山，以最真實一面帶你
擴散吸收，唔會吸晒落面心造成浪費，一抹就乾淨晒，仲唔會甩毛毛添。你都用麗的化妝棉啦！
人氣女廚師帶路，食勻日本好味道。捐窿捐罅，搜羅地道新鮮食材，大開眼界。大廚獨門秘技，教你煮出正宗大和之味。
But literacy is a vital step in helping them reach their full potential. Room to Read makes sure children across the developing world have access to specially trained teachers, schools, libraries, and books in their own language. Room to Read, a better life through literacy.
It's not as if life hasn't been turbulent enough for them here in the first half, but as you see, Carl Jenkinson and Matthew Flamini are coming on, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is going off together with Laurent Koscielny. So, Jim Beglin, briefly make sense of that if you can.
Well, I think we'll see Vermaelen, who was operating at left back, he'll tuck in there as a centre back. Sanyu will come to left back, and Jenkinson, who we're watching now, he will go to right back. Flamini obviously will just sit in with Arteta.
So, whatever next? Where do Arsenal go from here? How ruthless do Chelsea choose to be? The gap so vast in the first half as to ridicule the tightness at the top of the Barclays Premier League. One team in it, the other team barely off the bus and now wishing they could reboard the bus without the need for this second period. John Terry can even play lying down, but Arsenal do have it back, and here is Giroud. Mazzola. Marlon now from centre half as a result of the changes. Just confirmation of those changes, the half-time substitutions. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has given way to Matteo Flamini, who will look to reinforce the midfield. And the back four shifts a little so that Carl Jenkinson can come on for Laurent Koscielny. But all the talk at half-time, Jim Beglin was, of course, about the mistaken identity, the handball, the penalty, and so on. And one theory that is doing the rounds, and not unreasonably, just see whether Schürrle's onside here. He's not. One theory that's doing the rounds is that the shot was probably going wide. Oxlade-Chamberlain handled it, and so that the referee maybe deemed to have made a mistake in showing a red card at all. Clearly a penalty, but not necessarily. In fact, arguably, certainly not a sending off.
Yeah, listen, at the time, I'm not even sure that Andre Marner saw it. I'm not sure whether his assistant read the handball either. I think it's just based on all the Chelsea appeals. So if they're unsure exactly where the ball was headed at the time, then they can only think that it was probably on target.
Here's Torres. And David Luiz. Chesney just became a target.
I'm afraid it's going to be more of the same for Arsenal in this second half. It's just a case of Chelsea. Who wants to go? Well, Torres did brilliantly to work his way into position when he was denied. He's just gone for the smash, Louise. It shows me he was strong. What's up? I'm in by Louise too much for John Terry. But just to go back to it, Peter, if I can, I just don't think they knew whether the ball was on target or not, because I'm not sure they saw it, because it seemed to take an eternity before it was awarded anyway. Principle of the official, your supposition is that if a player has gone to the length of diving full stretch and handling, he must have believed it was. Of course. I mean, technically, it's a good case because it wasn't on target. True, but they weren't to know that. And if they're not to know that, you can understand why it all resulted the way it did. Sure. By the way, it won't surprise you to hear that the referee has put his hands up at half time. He had a little option, Andre Mariner. The error was brought to his attention, I suspect, before the half was complete. And he has said, clear case of mistaken identity, my mistake alone. Sorry. Well, he might be taking one for his particular team on this. He really might. Because I think he had help. I think he certainly was influenced by his assistant. By the end of next weekend, Chelsea will have played Arsenal, of course. Liverpool will have played Spurs and made up their game in hand. Arsenal will have played here at Chelsea and against Manchester City, and they will have made up their game in hand. City will have been to Manchester United and to Arsenal and made up one of their games in hand. Most there will be by then. Just 6 games left. The stagger is beginning to unwind. Of the 4, it is Arsenal who are staggering. Oscar. How well have Chelsea played, Jim? Pretty well. Listen, it was a great start. It was a start of real conviction and intent. We spoke before the game, and I questioned as to whether they would really go for the throat like that. I'm happy to admit I was wrong. And then when events unfolded, it resulted in the sending off. I mean, it's just been a non-contest from there, and it's difficult to gauge. And now, I mean, in the second half, Chelsea are just playing with just complete patience. They can afford to take their time. He's obviously tried to set things up a little differently, getting Flamini in just to provide a little more protection as well. And I'm sure, like at Anfield, they'd like to at least register in the second half. They did through a penalty that particular day. I'm not sure they're going to have too many opportunities in this game, though. It's the FA Cup pick for him. Hopefully he won. It's his match number 497, which was the FA Cup final of 2005. Patrick Vieira's last kick for the club. There was a challenge on Aspilicueta by Rosicki, which hinted at irritation and tetchiness. Yeah, and out of all the